Confused with your anonymous hosts.
Hello, everybody.
Oh, we didn't say our disclaimer in the last one. Well, it's okay. We didn't talk about any facts or anything.
No, that was just our feeling.
But let's talk about it now.
Okay, so this is our disclaimer. We may or may not know what we're talking about. We may or may not believe what we're talking about. These are just thoughts that we are confused about.
Yes. And today we're going to talk about a very controversial topic. And I found the perfect video to, start this conversation. The topic is about abortion. I think I showed you this video. You didn't watch it completely?
I didn't watch the whole thing, but yeah.
Okay,
I understood the gist of it.
Yeah, so disclaimer, this could be a little bit triggering for some people.
It's about abortion.
It's about abortion, and it's about, this is a video of, looks like a conference, a pro-life conference, and yeah, just let's put it on.
Her name is Clementine. She was 5 months along when she was aborted. My daughter was healthy. I begged her mother not to go through with the abortion. She was confused, and she regrets it now. My daughter was 5 months, and she was ripped apart. My daughter doesn't get a funeral. This has been a month and 3 days. I have her sonogram picture the first time I heard her heartbeat, and I bring this up to people, and I say, well, she had a heartbeat. Wasn't she a person? And I'm being told she's a fetus, which, by the way, everybody, that's Latin for offspring. So I don't know why we're speaking Latin. I speak English. I'm told by my friends, I'm crying over somebody I never met before. Why isn't my daughter human enough for people to care? Why isn't my daughter woman enough for her to have a body and for her to have a choice? My daughter was going to be beautiful. As a father, I'm just supposed to forget. I'm just supposed to move on. I don't know who did this to my daughter. I wish I could ask him, was my daughter beautiful? My daughter matters. She is loved, and I hope that everybody can keep her memory alive too. Thank you.
Well, your daughter is beautiful. To answer your question bluntly as to why didn't Clementine matter enough? The answer is people don't want her to matter because they don't want to have to accept responsibility for their actions. They want to dehumanize. They want to use words like fetus or embryo or zygote to separate the child in the womb from us, persons outside the womb. But Clementine is beautiful, so we already know that answer to that question.
My daughter.
I have a lot of thoughts.
Go.
Okay, so I'm very much pro-choice. I am a
Cisgender.
Cisgender. I'm a cis woman.
Heterosexual.
No, cis is like I was born this way.
Oh, okay.
So I'm a cis woman.
That's gender, and what I said is sexual orientation.
I think, so he said a couple things. They kept mentioning this beautiful daughter,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what women are, we're seen as objects, and we're seen as beautiful, and we're supposed to grow up to be these beautiful women, and blah, 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 blah. That's only about looks. He didn't say that my daughter can be like a scientist and cure cancer. Okay, sure. There's no value that he put onto his daughter other than her looks at that point. He also said that his daughter was not woman enough to matter, to exist. Women who already exist outside of the womb, if you're saying that that child or that fetus is a woman, they don't even have rights. So how are we surpassing the woman that's carrying this fetus and giving rights to this child? 3, women should not have to have kids as a consequence, and I'm using air quotes with that, because having sex is not a bad thing. First of all, having sex with multiple people is not a bad thing. Having sex with whoever you want consensually is not a bad thing. I feel like a lot of people who are pro-life say that you have to take responsibility for your actions. Having a child is not a consequence. It should not be a consequence. And there's some more, but I would like to hear your thoughts.
It should be a choice. No, I'm not saying a lot because I don't think this is a topic that I should talk a lot, because as a guy, you understand. I am pro-choice as well.
You're part of the equation though, and I think that more straight cis men need to speak up on this issue, because
and that could be part of the issue that not enough of us are speaking up.
You guys,
so you're right.
Like I think with like just misogyny in general, like men a lot of the men in my life that I choose to be there, they're not bad men. They're not misogynistic, or at least not around me. They also have friends that are, and they still are friends with them. They don't call them out. They don't have these discussions with other men. So it's okay to say all of this stuff in their presence.
Yeah. Like I said, I identify as pro-choice, and however, I listen to this guy, and he seems to be in a lot of pain. He feels that he lost someone.
And he did.
He's going through a grief process. So how do
Yeah.
you talk to someone that's feels like this, is going through something like this, and try to educate them?
So I would not educate him, because he has this feeling that his daughter was a real person. His daughter died. He can't hold
And
his
also,
daughter.
I'm sorry, where's his wife? Why is he speaking?
That's another thing. She was confused during this decision. I don't think that women make this. I don't think that women are so delicate that they make this decision lightly. If I were to have an abortion, it's because I know that I don't want a kid. I know that I've never wanted a kid. It's not a decision I'm like, oops, got pregnant again, abortion time. And I think that's what it's sold as. And women are seen as this weaker, illogical, emotional, can't make a decision person, and they're not.
It's a really hard topic to talk about, because you can see the pain of this guy.
Yeah, and so his
Yeah.
pain is legitimate, because he truly believes that this was a person that he lost. So if I were to see him as a client, all of his feelings are valid. That doesn't make it right for him to go and try to enforce into law what his beliefs are.
And what if it was a woman? Because even in my, and I'm Christian, and in the Christian community, I see a lot of women that they have testimonies that they aborted, and that's the biggest mistake they had, and all that. What if it was a woman talking about this? How do you approach that?
Well,
Because they, yeah, sorry.
so it's the same thing as a grieving process. If they truly regretted this, they made that decision, and whatever it is, and I'm sure there are people that regret it. I'm also sure that these people are in an environment or a religion that judges them and makes them feel bad, and they take that judgment and that guilt and shame and all of that stuff that they're getting from these people that surround them, and internalize it and make it about them. I made the wrong decision. No, had you had other people around you supporting you for this difficult decision, you might feel later on that it was the right
I think
decision.
you hit right on the spot. Like, you'll feel, depending on the support system that you have, depending on your environment, that's what's gonna determine your how do you feel after that decision.
Yeah, if
you're surrounded by people that's gonna judge you and
you're not going to say
criminalize
anything
you.
though. You're not even going to say anything, because you're going to have this abortion, and you can't go to church and cry about it and tell the people that you use as your community and your support system, I had to make this really difficult decision.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot bring another child into this world. I am not capable of taking care of it. So they have to hold that in. And a lot of times there is rhetoric that is talked about in these spaces that tell you that if you make this decision, you're a bad person, you're going to hell. So a lot of that is placed on the women. And yeah, of course, if I knew that I was going to have to deal with this months of trauma that I have to deal with for hearing all this stuff, oh yeah, I would have dealt with the baby. Sure. The rest of my life I have to live with this guilt because people think that a child, a fetus, it is a fetus. It is just a clump of cells until 5-6 months. Again, disclaimer, I don't know everything about it, but I also don't think that people should be forced to have kids.
Yeah, I think, if you, for example, what I tell my mom, she gets really passionate about this topic. She's pro-life, and I say, hey mom, it's okay. You would never abort a child. You would never do an abortion. And that's you, and that's completely fine. But don't enforce that into other people. Christians, if you don't believe in abortion, don't do it.
The thing is,
Don't
like,
enforce it into other people.
with the
If
abortion
you would
laws,
never kill anyone, don't kill
don't
anyone.
kill anybody.
Don't kill anybody. Yeah, but don't let no one should kill anyone.
That's different.
But yeah, it's different. But don't enforce your beliefs into others.
But that's also the thing is, like, we have serial killers that are literal, like, they're infamous. People have their favorite murder. People have their favorite serial
That's
killer.
messed up.
So there are people that are actually killing people and murdering people, and they're made to be these
There's
famous
fucking
people.
documentaries on Netflix.
Yeah,
about them.
not about the victims, not about the people who were murdered, but about the people who killed them. And I've had a conversation with a conservative person too, and she's like, "Oh, if I was raped, I would keep it because the baby's part of me." That gives leeway to people who want to rape other people. Do you know that the cases of like incestuous rape, like father, daughter, brother, uncle, all that stuff has like risen since Roe versus Wade? Again, I don't know the specifics, but there's literal proof that incestuous rape has skyrocketed since Roe versus Wade has been taken away, or whatever the fuck it is. That's insane. We're literally giving these men permission, and these children at some points have to have a child. They're 8, they're 9, they're 10. What do they know about having a child?
It's a gift from God. They say.
That's insane. That's insane. Literally insane. And the thing is, using kids as consequences, that's the future that we're building. These kids were not wanted. These
not
kids
wanted.
don't
They're gonna become not wanted. Kids are gonna become
not wanted adults.
Not wanted adults.
And not wanted adults are very dangerous. I don't know when Roe vs. Wade happened, but I believe that it was in the 70s, I think.
Yeah, and once it was implemented, 10 years later, or
20
more,
years
20
later.
years later,
Yeah.
crime
fell.
decreased a significant amount. Again,
the thing
disclaimer.
is, so we were also talking to somebody today about daycare. Daycare costs like $2,000 a month. Who has $2,000 a month?
That's more than
to
my
pay?
rent right now.
Food at school. They don't want public school, so they want you to pay for school. Who has that amount of money to pay for school? Public schools don't get funding. Public schools don't want to give free lunch. We don't have after school programs. They're expensive. Everything is about money. What are we doing with all these kids that are not being aborted?
It's a really dark topic.
I think it's really dark because people make it dark.
Because people make it dark, you're right.
I think this is a topic that
and with
needs
my
to
background,
be
this
discussed.
is a topic that it's scary for me because all my life I grew up learning about that this is the most horrible thing you could do.
So
Life
what
is the
made
most
you
sacred
change?
thing. Education.
Okay.
Education. That's what made me change it. I got
And they wanna
educated. I
take
said, you know what? I
education
just
away.
don't want to listen to what people tell me. I want to learn. Is this true? Is what that person in that altar was saying? Is it true? And just education is what led me to what I believe now is the
But
right
even
path.
education, how much are you paying for your degree? You have to take out loans
I have a
for
loan.
a degree.
Yeah,
They're
right
making
now,
educational unattainable. What do they want these kids to grow up to be? Like, it doesn't make sense that we're creating this whole entire generation of forced birthed kids. We're taking away education. We don't have good nutritious food. We are tired. We're just sitting on our phones, scrolling through, watching TV. Like, we're just consuming and we're not producing anything worthwhile. I don't get it. I'm pro abortion all day, every day. I have an aunt. She was raped and she got pregnant and she literally did the coat hanger thing. And the only reason that she regrets her coat hanger abortion is because she can't have kids after that. Not because of the abortion.
Because of the method.
Because she just messed up her insides. Because it was rape. Somebody raped her and she had a kid, or she was pregnant with a kid from them. And that choice was taken away from her when she couldn't have an abortion. She could have grown up into a not 16-year-old child and had a whole entire family and produced multiple kids, but
Wanted
because wanted kids. That's crazy. I'm so pro abortion. Like, did you show me this video? This lady, she had to carry around a dead fetus because her body had miscarried, and it was like miscarried at like month 3 or 4, and she had to carry it
You
around.
showed me that video.
It was dying inside of her.
And she had to push out a dead baby.
A dead baby. And
Imagine
we
the
don't
trauma.
think we don't think that's traumatized. That's what they're saying. That's I don't get it. I don't get it at all. How lawmakers make their Kamala Harris actually asked Brett Kavanaugh for his Supreme Court hearing, what laws are overruling men's bodies? What law tells you as a man that you cannot do something with your body? There are none.
There are, not for men specifically, but for example, you can't. Some people, they have that condition that they feel like, for example, my arm, I don't feel like it's part of my body. I want to take it off.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you cannot chop any part of your body unless it's for a
Okay,
medical
so
reason.
what's the consequence? Let's say I chop my arm off right now. I'm gonna go to jail for that?
This is a perfectly good arm. I don't know, but
it's
there
not-
are no. Yeah, it doesn't make sense. I agree. If you want to chop it off, like, go
Do
ahead,
it,
whatever. I
yeah.
don't care if you have the money for it. Better for us. More money for the hospital. I don't know. But there are laws. For example, you also, I don't think we can get a vasectomy. Depending on the state, you can get a what's it called, a vasectomy unless you already have like 2 children or
No, vasectomies men can get.
anytime.
For women to get their tubes tied, they have to, in some states, have a marriage, have a man, their spouse
they need
sign
to
off, and they have to have like 2 kids or something
That's
like
crazy.
that.
That's
That's
crazy.
bizarre.
That's crazy.
And this is like the country of free people.
Yeah. But there are some laws that prohibit people from doing stuff with
But
their
people
bodies.
in general.
People in general, like
Yes.
men and women.
Yes.
Yeah.
Not just men.
Specifically for men.
And if we're
No.
going off the law of the land, the Bible, doesn't the Bible say, like, if you spill your seed, you should have 40 lashes or something? I'm making that up, but I know there's something that somebody quoted about
No, there's
that.
a saying that if your hand makes you sin, chop it off. If your eyes makes you sin,
Gouge them out.
gouge them out. But it's hypothetical. Like, for example, if you watch porn and you are addicted to it, you just throw away or get rid 100% of everything that will take you to that. If you that's what it's
Or
talking about.
learn self-control.
Yeah.
Learn self-control. You don't have to get on your computer or your phone and
throw it
type
away.
in the website and do this. Like, it's called self-control. I was talking to a client today, and I'm not going to go into it, but we were talking about, I was a teacher, we were talking about like how girls have dress codes, because one girl got dress coded because she had a spaghetti strap on. Her shoulder, because she's distracting boys. What does her shoulder have to do with boys being distracted, first of all? Why isn't it boys have to learn how to not be distracted over a girl's shoulder?
100% agree. I remember in elementary school, they would go every now and then to the classroom and would make the girls like go on their knees on the floor, and if the skirt didn't touch the floor, your mom needed to pick you up. And
That sounds
because
gross. Having the girls on their knees on the floor checking out their skirts.
no, like to see if they were long
if it
enough.
was long
but
enough.
it wasn't like that. Like there was
I'm sure a male teacher thought of something like that. Do you know how
I'm
many
sure.
male teachers are fucking perverts?
yeah.
A lot.
In Puerto Rico, there was like 3 cases, like 3 or 4 months ago, about 3 different female teachers that raped 3 kids.
Female teachers do that shit too.
Yeah.
But there's a lot more male teachers, and
Oh,
they
yeah.
make the young girls think that they're special, or blah blah blah. Like, what the fuck? Like, ugh, this is gross. I'm like, I don't know.
Well, we have 19 minutes and 30 seconds. I think we should wrap up. Right? This felt a little bit intense.
This was really
I don't know
intense.
if we're going to post this one.
I think we should. I think this
think we
needs to be
should.
talked about. This is a
Okay.
very important thing that impacts us all, men and women. And I think that children should only be had if they're wanted.
I agree.
This has been To Be Confused
With your
with your
anonymous
anonymous
hosts.
hosts.